everyone, Shunk here, and today I'll be showing you a simple scratch game that I made called Space Dash 1. So this was a simple scratch game that I developed, and as you can see, we have a few variables at the top corner that I will get to later, and we also have a dog, a meteor, and another cat in the cage. And right here is Dot the hero, aka the dog. And we have Leon the heroine and Meteor the villain. I'll show you some gameplay. As you can see, we are playing as Dot here, and I have to jump over meteors. And Bob, if you look at the top corner, I now have 1 point. With every meteor I jump over, I gain an extra point. And if you look at the top there, Leon, aka the heroine, is trapped. And our goal is to free her. But in order to do so, we have to travel, through this giant asteroid belt, because there are many asteroids that are going to come. 25, in fact. So when you reach the grand total of 25 points, you will win the game. So, you might be wondering, how is this game created and how can I make it for myself? Well, we'll get there later. And as you see, oh my god, I almost just died there. And if you look at the top right there, you can see there's also a heart variable along with the points one. So what is that heart variable? Well, it calculates how many lives you have. So if you ever get hit by the asteroid, then Bob looked like that, it came down to 2. Oh, now it's at 1. Oh, I'm so dead, I should pay more attention. Okay, if I want to win this game, I gotta pay more attention. I have 1 life left. Because when it reaches 0, I will lose. So, oh my gosh, this is getting tough. Okay, I just need 25. I'm not that far away, only 6 more to go. Come on, we can do this. 5 left. I can do this. Come on, this ain't that hard. I have 1 life, but I have enough. And as you can see, there are also stars falling from the background, which don't do anything. They're just there for the memes, the trolls, just to think you that they do something, but no. They're not going to hurt you if you're wondering. Just go, I did it! And there you see the cage blows up, and the Leoine is freed. Thank you for saving me. The end. So... as you have seen of how this game, but now it's about time we take a look at the code. And it's fairly simple, but there is a lot of it. Of course, throughout all of these sprites. But if you want to try making this game, then the first step is make these sprites of being Dot. You can just find them in the sprites library over here. If you just go over here, you can find Dot himself. There he is, and you can use him. And in the floor sprite, it's very easy to draw. It doesn't have any code. It's just there for looks. You just draw a big rectangle. Then asteroid is slightly difficult because their scratch does not have an asteroid sprite. So what you do, there are 2 ways to do it. You can either upload one, or you can just take the one out of another sprite's hand called Ripley. And we have a line sprite, which you can find in this library over here, like Dot. This has very few code. It's this, the you lose screen, which I almost got when I was trying to do it. And finally, we have Star and Leon. The Star you can just find in the sprites library. And Leon, sadly, you cannot find it in the starts library. So if you want, you have to draw him. Or you can just take another sprite. It doesn't matter. Now, let's get into the coding. Let's start with the main man himself, Dot. So, as you can see, immediately there is a lot of code in it. So I will break it down. And I'm just going to delete these right now. Okay, yeah. Because I don't really need these right now. Let me delete all these extra blocks that are still here for some reason. Alright, I think that's all. Now, now, as you can see, let's start with the first part. Now this is the movement code. You can pause the video and take this and copy it down, but basically it's very simple. But before this, you have to make 4 variables. One being the lives variable, one being the points variable, and x speed and y speed. That's very important. If you don't know how to make a variable, just click this and type in the variable name you want. And as you can see, when the right arrow is pressed, the x speed changes by 1, and when x speed by -1 is pressed, then the left arrow pressed, it changes x speed by -1. And it will always set the x speed to x speed multiplied by 0.9. This is a bit complex, so I'll just skip it. But this, and finally, just change x by x speed. So it's not like the clicker game or anything. Now, we are moving on to parts with the live variable. This is just very simple. It just sets the lives to 3 at the beginning of the game. So then we have a forever if lives equals 0 black, it will broadcast lose. So whatever this does, it checks for if the lives variable over here reaches 0, and if it does, it will broadcast lose. We'll get to what sprite receives this, but I think it's pretty obvious. So then when green flag clicked, well, this one's pretty long, isn't it? But this is all just for jumping. Yeah, it's for jumping. So if the key space is pressed and it's touching the color black. So you might be thinking, why did I add this and touching color black? Well, that's because without this, then dot would just be able to fly. I'll show you. So basically, without this and without this touching color, if we just did space pressed, then dot could literally fly. Yeah, so that was a problem. And I still died even with the power of flight. I still lost life. So we need an and touching color block. And touching black colored block. Which makes this a lot easier. So now Bot-Key works normal. Why is it black? Well, that's because this line on the floor is black. And this is very important because if you use the same sprite as me by just making yellow rectangle with black outlines, then it's fine. But if you're using a different floor sprite, make sure to change this color into the top of your floor right here. So now with that out of the way, let's move on. It sets the y speed to 10. So the y speed variable will be changed to 10. And it's also forever making the y speed negative, so gravity extend sprite and dot could fall down, and it just changes y by y speed like it changes x speed. Alright, and if it's touching the color yellow, then change y by -1 times the y speed, set y speed to 0. Now this just checks for the ground, and if it is in the ground, make it the ground kind of thing. Now if you have written this line of code, then it's time we move to here. And if we move over here, this is for winning and music. So you can do these. You can make any sound you want. Basically, go to sounds library here. Go to here. You can record if you want. Or you can just click this choose button and choose any of the sounds. But I feel like you'd probably want to go into loops, because it has to continue. So, as you can see, you can do this. But personally, my favorite is this. I don't know why I like that. So now with all that out of the way, let's move out over here. So it plays the sound dance around until done, and when it reaches 25 points, it will change the song to being guitar chords too. Now, when green flag click forever, if the points equal 25, then broadcast when wait 300 seconds. So why is this here? Well, it's pretty simple. Basically, it just checks, same thing here. It just checks if points are 25, meaning you win, and it'll broadcast a win. So what is this wait 300 seconds block? Well, we'll get to why I added that later. And finally, the final code of this is forever checking if it touches the asteroid sprite. And if it does, it'll make the bonk sound effect and broadcast hit. And what the hit does, it changes the life by -1. Wait 1 second. So, the asteroid doesn't take all your lives. Now, floor. It's just a big rectangle. It doesn't have code, so don't worry. It's there for looks. You don't need to add one if you want to. So we got a bunch of extra stuff here. Then stop shooting big rocks. Well, we'll get rid of that. I'll show you why I made that variable, okay? Anyways, without all these other stuff out of the way, you can see that we are experimenting with some clones in this. So it will forever pick a random number from 3 to 5, and it will wait a many seconds, and it will create a clone of myself. When the clone is made, it will show, and it will repeat the touching line, move -5 steps, start sound collect, change points by 1, hide. So it's just checking, is it going to touch this line? And if yes, it starts the sound, the collect, and it gets your point back, and it disappears again. It also disappears when it receives the hit variable. Then I received stop shooting big. So what Sprite is broadcasting this, it will stop all the other scripts in Sprite. Basically, it's kind of stopped the whole game kind of thingy. But that, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's made by Lion, which has all this junk. Speaking of this junk, let's do this junk. So you do not need to add any of this, but if you want, you can. Basically, I just drew a bunch of sprites, like an animation going on of where it blows up. You can do it if you want. Just make sure you add the needed amount for all of this. And if you go down here, it will just when glide 3 seconds to dot and starts playing new sound. Starts bark, starts meow. That's their way of communicating. If you weren't wondering, it's a dog and a cat. What did you think? Thank you for saving me. And if you scroll down, it just stops all. Pretty simple. And I mean, this line of code is not really simple, but you get it. Now, let's move on to the line sprite, which only has one line of code, and that is when if I click change ghost effect by 1 million or whatever. You can make this any number you want, but make sure it is a big number, because if it's not, then the line will be visible. Unless you want the line to be visible, that's totally your choice. But if you want the line to be invisible, just do this. Now, we are moving on to sprite 3, the losing. So when it receives the lose, when the green flag clicks, it hides, and when it receives the lose message, it will show it and stop all. So who's broadcasting this? Well, it's R, main the man, it's dot. And where's the code where he does it? Yeah. So when flies equals 0, it broadcasts it lose. And when I receive lose, it will show and stop all. Now, let's move on. Start. You don't really need to add the star but if you want, you can add it for the memes, I guess. So when green flag clicks, it's going to broadcast wall. That message is actually made by itself. And it will go to pick random from -100 to 100, y 157, and it'll just repeat this 70 times, and then broadcast fall again. So it will do that again. It's kind of complex, but pretty much all it does, pick random area, fall down, and then repeat, kind of thing. And this is also the sprite that sets the points to 0 when the game starts. You can add this to any game or any sprite if you want. So with this, now let's move on to the we kind of did all, didn't we? So yeah, I don't know why I did that weird, but yeah, we don't need that, but yeah, we pretty much did it. Those are all the code for sprites. If you want to make your own version of Space Dash. Now, if you want the same backdrop that I have, well, it's just simple. I just want to choose a backdrop, click space, and you can choose any of these. But of course, you can choose any of these also and have a whole different theme on the game without a Dot and without a Leon. And by the way, this Leon, I know it's meant to be lion and this is clearly a cat, but we're gonna call him Leon because I wanted to originally name him Line because, this is a dot and this is a line. But there's already a spread called a line and I didn't want to get confused, so I named him Leon. It's pronounced as Leon, not lion. So, and that's a bit for this video. Now, if you guys want me to make more of these tutorial videos of how to make these games, then let me know. But for now, that's it. So, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and peace!